Okay, hi ladies. It's Johnny here for Men Speak Live. I'd just like to thank some ladies for their patience tonight, just with a few technical difficulties. Hopefully, you can actually hear what Men Speak Live is all about tonight. So, tonight I'm actually going to talk about a topic that's been asked about by a few ladies on the page, on the group, and that's in regards to long distance relationships. Now, this might be like I posted last night on the preview. You can actually be going through this yourself, or you might be starting a relationship that's long distance, or you actually might know somebody who's going through this as well. So again, it can be insights. And I had a good think about this for the last couple of days, and I've come up with about 11 topics or 11 insights around this as well. So hopefully, you do get something out of it tonight. Now, if you actually not listen to the group live tonight, no problems. You can still ask questions. Just comment below after the call. If you are actually live, and again, thank you for your patience, you can actually type in for the comments as well, and I'll get to them as fast as I can. If you don't feel comfortable in commenting, either live tonight or if you're hearing this later on, you can definitely private message me. I'm definitely here to help out as much as I can around this topic and around any other topics that you want to know about. But let's just concentrate tonight on the long distance relationships. And again, I'm just going to share my 11 insights that I've come up with around this. And remember, this is all from a man's mind as well. So first thing I'm going to talk about is avoiding excessive communication. Now, what I actually mean by this is that you don't want to be, talking to your partner for basically longer periods of time. And what I mean by that is you don't want to, be overwhelming or communicate like 12 hours a day, to actually try and keep the relationship going. I think that less is always good. Less is more, I suppose, for that side of it. So just kind of think of it in a way where if the partner was actually around you, would you be communicating, 12 hours, in a day, for example? So I definitely avoid excessive communication. Next one I'm going to come up with is trying to communicate regularly and creatively. And, this is to greet each other, good morning or good night, every day. I think this is definitely a must. On top of that, try and update your partner, on life as it happens. However mundane, some of the things may seem, it's up to, it's up to yourself to, probably share, each other's pictures, audio clips, short videos from time to time. It's about putting in that kind of effort and to make the other person actually feel loved, and attended to. So don't worry, Joe. It'll be on here for you to see later on. So you won't be missing much. Don't worry, you're all good. But I definitely thank Joe, Jennifer, and Madeline definitely for your patience. I appreciate that. Okay, so third thing I'm going to talk about is actually talk dirty with each other. Now, sexual tension is undoubtedly one of the most important things, between couples. And, sexual desires is like a glue that keeps both parties, from drifting apart. So not only is sex a biological need, it's also an emotional one as well. So keep the flames burning by, sending each other teasing texts, filling with some, sexual innuendos, and provocative descriptions. But I definitely think, through that long distance relationship, we do want to have that dirty talk in between. The fourth one I've come up with is making visits to each other. Now, this one here, visits are going to be the highlight, every long distance relationship. After all the waiting and the anticipation. You finally get to actually meet each other, and all those little things that, you've been talking about, like the kissing or the holding hands, which is all common, let's just face it, couples do, is actually going to be very extra special, and more intimate for you guys as well, in a long distance relationship. And it's like fireworks, glittering bombs, rainbows, everything's going to be, happening for there. So definitely try and meet up as much as you can, if you can, with long distance relationships. The fifth one I'll come up with is just know each other's schedules. It's helpful to know, when the other person is busy and when, he's free, so that you can actually drop a text or actually make a call at the right time. Don't want to disturb, your man, when he's in the middle of a class, or he's at work, or he's in a business meeting. Just know the small and big events, that are taking place, with each other's lives. I definitely think, it's definitely good to have each other's schedules. Another one is video call whenever possible. I think this is definitely a big one for when it comes to long distance relationships, because you want to be looking at each other's eyes. You don't want to hear each other. It's good to hear each other's voices. It makes everything feel real, and all right again. And like I've spoken to before, it's about, if you're texting, which is fantastic, but I think you can't beat, the video calls if you can do them, if it's possible. Another one, this is number 7, so I'll keep you track on the 11 I'm doing. So number 7 is keep track of each other's, social media activities. Like each other's photos on Facebook, or if you've got Instagram, just basically tag each other, share things that each other, on each other's walls. And actually just shows that you care, and it's not a form of actually stalking. I remember someone once told me he's had a bit of stalking, but, it's just about knowing that the other person's actually, they're watching what you're doing as well. A big one, this is number 8, is actually stay honest with each other. Talk about your feelings, your fears, your insecurities, your jealousies, whatever it is. If you're trying to hide anything from your partner, unfortunately or unfortunately, that secret will soon come out. So don't try and deal with things all by yourself. Be open, be honest with each other. Let your partner help you and give you the support that you actually need. It's better to look at the problem during the initial stages, than to actually close it, when it's actually too late. And in saying that as well, the communication face-to-face and long distance should never be any different. Now, I feel like the communication long distance should be there more, because, that's your form of communication at 100%. So just 100% be honest, with everything that you're actually doing. Number 9 is enjoy your alone time, with your friends and your family. So, if you're alone, but you aren't lonely, unless you choose to feel like this, don't have to let the world, revolve around your man. There's still you. You still got to be you. You still got your family. You still got your friends. Take your time to do things like that. Go to the gym. I know, find a hobby. Do something. But there's plenty of things actually do that don't actually involve your partner. And again, these are things that you would normally do if your partner's there. And I've spoken about this previously. The most attractive thing about that a man's going to find in a woman is that they can actually hold themselves outside the relationship. And that's no different than when it comes to a long distance relationship. Number 10 is have a goal in mind. What do you want to achieve in the day? How long do you want to actually be apart? What's in your future? These are questions that you two should be asking yourselves. The truth is, no couple can be in a long distance relationship forever. Eventually, you all need to settle down. So make a plan with each other. Do up a timeline, mark down, estimate times that you're going to be apart and that you want to be together, and draw an end goal with that one. It's just so important, that you two are on the same page and you actually have the same goals. So that even if you're not living at the same space or heaven forbid the same time zone, both are still working together in the same direction towards the future that includes, one another. So, and it just lessens that, the expectations as well. If you're both on the same wavelength, you definitely have that end goal. And number 11 is do similar things. Recommend books, TV shows, movies, music, news, etc. To each other. When you read, watch, or listen to the same things, you can actually have more topics in common to talk about. This is a good creative way to share some experiences, even though you are actually living apart. So I know it took a while tonight for actually to come through, but they're definitely some of the things that I looked into coming to this topic, and there's probably much more than that with long distance relationships. But in the day, it's about my number one thing I think when it comes to long distance relationships is just keeping that communication open, being honest with each other, and actually knowing each other's schedules, like I've spoken about, and being open and honest. So I hope that has actually helped out the ladies who have actually inquired about long distance relationships. I hope it does help if you're currently going through one or you're thinking about one. Because I've definitely spoken to some ladies in the past where, this is the line I've spoken to with ladies about online dating, is that they're afraid to get into the relationship because of the distance with the man that they're actually talking to. But it all comes down to you both talking about each other, and to be honest with you, it's about actually talking to them and saying, hey, look, I know that we're X amount, kilometres away. Are you open to communicating long distance? You've got to have that set in stone straight up. There's no use starting something if it's going to end soon. So definitely have that conversation now sooner than later, because your expectations are going to be different than the man that you're actually talking to there as well. So again, I hope this has helped tonight, ladies. Again, if there's any questions, I'm definitely up to talk about it now. But if you think about something later on, like I said at the start of the call, don't be afraid to comment below, private message me, or whatever you need to do. But I do appreciate your patience tonight. And in saying that too, next week is going to be the Man Speak Live interview, which is going to be at 8:30. I'll definitely promise you as much as I can that there'll be no technical difficulties. But next week at 8:30 p.m. is the interview with a man. So be in the lookout for that one. I'll be giving you updates in the next couple of days on who my next guest is. But again, thank you for your patience. Johnny here from Manspeak, and take care. Thanks, ladies. Bye.